The story revolves around a young couple, Matt and Kate. Matt is an artist, while Kate works as a translator. Both of them had recently quit their jobs because they wanted a fresh start in life. Hoping for a better future, they buy a huge manor in a small, isolated town. The place is quiet and surrounded by emptiness, but the mansion itself is beautiful and spacious. At first, everything seems perfect. While exploring the house, Matt discovers a strange hidden room. Along with it, they also find an old key among the previous owner's belongings. Curious, the couple decides to open the mysterious room. But the moment they unlock it, the lights of the house begin flickering violently. The voltage fluctuates, and suddenly the entire house goes dark. The next morning, they call an electrician to inspect the problem. He goes down into the basement, but Matt is shocked by what he sees there. The entire basement is packed with electric wires covering every wall and corner. In the center stands a glowing metallic wheel connected to the strange electrical system. Even though the house lights are off, the wheel continues glowing brightly. The electrician finds the setup extremely disturbing and says he has never seen anything like it before. Before leaving, he tells Matt something even more terrifying. The house had remained empty for years because its previous owners were murdered there. Hearing this makes Matt uneasy. He cannot stop thinking about the fact that they are living in a house where a brutal crime once happened. However, he hides the truth from Kate to avoid frightening her. Later, Matt searches online and discovers that in 1975, a young boy murdered the couple who previously lived in the manor. The killer's identity was known, but the reason behind the murders was never discovered. After the incident, the boy was sent to a psychiatric hospital. That night, Matt sits alone inside the mysterious room with a lamp beside him. Half jokingly, he says that he wishes he had another bottle of alcohol. Suddenly, the lamp flickers, the lights go out for a second, and when the electricity returns, a fresh bottle appears right in front of him. Matt freezes in fear. The bottle is identical to the ones he already owns. It is impossible for anyone to have placed it there. The next morning, Kate notices that the house lights are still fluctuating. She enters the strange room and is shocked to see it filled with expensive paintings, designer clothes, jewelry, and countless luxury items. Matt excitedly explains the truth to her. The room can grant wishes. At first, Kate does not believe him. Matt asks her to try wishing for something herself. She jokingly says she wants a good job. Matt laughs and explains that the room only creates objects, not opportunities. So Kate wishes for money instead. Immediately, the lights flicker again, and stacks of cash appear in the corner of the room. At first, Kate feels uncomfortable and disturbed by the unnatural power of the room. But slowly, greed begins taking over both of them. They start wishing for expensive wine, diamonds, designer dresses, paintings, furniture, and endless luxury items. Days pass, and the couple becomes addicted to the room's power. They throw lavish parties and surround themselves with wealth. Matt even creates a wall made entirely of money. It feels like paradise because they can have anything they desire. But eventually, the excitement fades. Kate still feels empty inside. One night, Matt talks about having a baby, but Kate becomes emotional and refuses. She had already lost 2 children in the past, and the pain still haunts her deeply. This leads to a huge argument between them. Matt leaves the house for some fresh air, while Kate remains alone, overwhelmed by sadness and depression. Then a dangerous thought enters her mind. She walks into the mysterious room and wishes for a baby. The lights flicker once again. Moments later, a crying infant appears before her. When Matt returns home, he is horrified to see the child. He immediately shouts at Kate, asking what she has done. The room was only meant to create objects, not human beings. Matt fears terrible consequences, but by then it is already too late. Despite their fear, the couple quickly grows emotionally attached to the baby. They decide to keep him and name him Shane. Still disturbed, Matt begins researching the old murders more deeply. Eventually, he discovers the name of the killer from 1975, John Doe. Matt visits the psychiatric hospital where John Doe is still imprisoned. The moment John realizes Matt is living in the same house, he becomes terrified and desperately warns him, "Leave that house immediately." Matt demands answers, but John refuses to explain further. On his way home, Matt stops to buy gasoline. But when he checks his pocket, the money he took from the house has turned into dust. This reveals a horrifying secret. Anything created by the room cannot survive outside the manor. Matt rushes back home in panic. He searches every corner of the house, trying to understand how the room works. He notices the strange electric wires spread not only through the basement, but hidden inside the entire structure of the house itself. Meanwhile, baby Shane begins crying uncontrollably. Kate tries calming him and unknowingly carries him outside the house. Matt immediately screams at her not to do it, but before he can explain, something horrifying happens. The baby starts aging rapidly. His skin changes, his body grows bigger, and within moments, the infant transforms into a 7-year-old boy. Kate screams in shock. Now they finally understand the terrifying truth. Any living thing created by the room ages rapidly outside the house. If Shane remains outside too long, he will continue aging until he becomes an old man and dies. Terrified, they rush him back inside, where the aging process stops. Even after learning the truth, Kate cannot stop loving Shane. To her, he is still her son. But this changes everything between Matt and Kate. Their relationship slowly begins falling apart. As time passes, the tension between Matt and Kate continues growing. They even begin sleeping in separate rooms. Kate becomes completely devoted to Shane and treats him like her real child. Meanwhile, Matt grows increasingly disturbed by Shane's existence. He cannot forget that the boy was created by the mysterious room. Shane, however, behaves like a normal child. He laughs, talks, and plays just like any other kid. But there is one strict rule: he must never leave the house. One night, Shane wakes up because of Matt and Kate's constant arguments. Unable to sleep, he wanders through the mansion alone. Eventually, he reaches the basement and discovers the strange electric wheel and endless network of wires hidden throughout the house. Slowly, Shane begins understanding the truth about himself. Later, he enters the mysterious room and discovers that he possesses supernatural powers connected to it. The next morning, Shane uses his imagination to transform the room into a magical garden filled with trees, snow, and beautiful scenery. He even creates a snowman inside the room. Kate is amazed and happy because, to her, Shane feels like a miracle. But Matt becomes more afraid than ever. He realizes Shane's powers are growing stronger. Around this time, Matt receives another phone call from John Doe at the psychiatric hospital. This time, John finally reveals the horrifying truth about the murders from 1975. Years ago, the previous couple had also wished for a child from the room. That child was John Doe himself. As John grew older, he desperately wanted freedom and a normal life. But the room controlled him completely. Eventually, it gave him one terrifying command. To survive, he had to kill the people who wished for his existence. That is why John murdered the couple who created him. Hearing this truth terrifies Matt. Unfortunately, Kate secretly overhears the conversation through another phone line. Realizing the danger Shane may become, she panics and drives away from the house late at night. Meanwhile, Shane keeps asking where his mother is. In anger, Matt finally tells Shane the truth about his birth. He explains that he was created by the room and can never live normally outside the house because he will rapidly age and die. Furious and emotional, Matt drags Shane toward the front door, threatening to throw him out. But at the last second, Matt cannot do it. Instead, he hugs Shane and apologizes. For a brief moment, they truly feel like father and son. Later that night, Kate returns home and is relieved to see Matt finally bonding with Shane. She believes their family may finally heal. But Shane secretly watches them from outside the bedroom door. And deep inside, he begins developing dangerous feelings toward Kate. The next day, Shane intentionally walks outside the house again. By the time he returns, he has transformed into a young man around 18 years old. Now fully aware of his supernatural abilities, Shane becomes violent. He attacks Matt with a gun, and during the chaos, Kate is injured and knocked unconscious. When she wakes up later, Matt tells her that Shane died during their fight. Both of them feel devastated, believing the nightmare is finally over. Kate begs Matt to leave the house forever, but Matt refuses. He has become addicted to the room's power. He argues that they can get everything they need from the house and never struggle financially again. Kate notices how greed and obsession have changed him completely. Suddenly, Matt begins acting strangely. Then the horrifying truth is revealed. The man standing before Kate is not Matt at all. It is Shane. Using his powers, Shane transformed himself into Matt because of his obsession with Kate. He then traps the unconscious Kate inside the mysterious room, reshaping it to look like his ideal version of home. When the real Matt regains consciousness, he desperately searches the mansion but cannot find either of them. Even the mysterious room is locked. In desperation, Matt smashes through one of the walls and discovers something terrifying hidden behind it. Endless tangled electric wires stretching through another hidden dimension. After crawling through the maze, he reaches a duplicate version of the house created by Shane's powers. There, Kate sees two identical versions of Matt standing before her. Confused and terrified, she calls out Shane's name. One of them, Matt, responds immediately, exposing his true identity. Kate finally realizes which one is the real Matt. She escapes with him while Shane begins twisting and reshaping the entire house around them. Walls move, rooms transform, and reality itself bends under Shane's control. The couple desperately searches for a way out. Eventually, they manage to break back into the real house through the hidden wall passage. But Shane follows them. Matt grabs Shane and drags him outside the mansion while Kate quickly locks the door behind them. Shane desperately begs to come back inside, but it is already too late. Standing outside, Shane rapidly begins aging. His young body transforms into an old man within minutes. Wrinkles cover his face, his body weakens, and finally he collapses dead in front of the house. The nightmare is finally over. Traumatized by everything that happened, Matt and Kate abandon the mansion forever and leave the cursed place behind. And with that, the movie comes to an end.